Wasn't it?
It's fun.
Look at that.
2, 3, 4.
Is it time, Jess?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just waiting for your fingers. They weren't up in there and counting.
Hey,
Thank you.
Today is a wonderful day.
Yes.
Raining hard in Baltimore, but we love the rain because
Yes.
when the rain brings sunshine, it brings out
Storm
the
clouds.
smiles. Yes.
Storm clouds.
Our life is not a constant storm. Sometimes our life is just rainy. Okay, well, good evening. This is our weekly podcast of Grit Grown Here
Yes.
by Character Matters. And characters do matter.
That's why we're here.
That's right, because
And
we're all
why you're
characters
here.
of one way or another. So we're glad to have our production team back. They were away
Yes.
on vacation last week, and boy, did we miss them. So
Oh yeah.
we are here with Gordon and Jess, and Gordon and Jess are from the hometown of
Baltimore Highlands.
Baltimore Highlands, Lansdowne, kinda, whatever. Whatever it is. And then we have Jim and Joanne, but they're not in Chambersburg.
No.
Jim, Joanne, where are you?
We're in
Altoona.
Still Pennsylvania.
Altoona, yes.
Yes, we're visiting Big Boy tomorrow.
Well, we're happy for you. And
Thank you.
I hope he gives a good steam toot to you.
Oh boy, I can't wait to take pictures.
What is Big Boy?
It's a steam engine.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. And then, Mr. Rob, you are here.
From Pasadena.
Pasadena. Yes.
Down at the, what I like to call, Redneck Riviera. of
The
Stony
Redneck Riviera. Okay. And I'm David, and I am from Annapolis, Maryland, where we are hosting this podcast
Yes.
from the underground bunker.
Underground
Ooh.
bunker. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yes,
I like
right
that.
off
Yes.
What's
General's
that?
Highway.
There you go. The generals. What generals are we
Generals.
talking about?
Well, we have a golf course right down the street, and that would be Ike.
Ike.
General Ike.
Okay.
Ike and Hauer.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
I like Ike.
So
I
it's
do
not
too.
General So's?
No, that we had that for dinner last night.
That's good.
Okay.
Yes,
Anyway,
Gordon.
so we're glad you're here, and we're gonna start reviewing. What did we do last week, Rob?
So last week, what did we do? We've been working on a series, and it's going on. Today's going to be part 3 of, I guess,
Emotionally
a 5-part series so far.
Trapped.
Emotionally trapped. Yeah.
Emotionally trapped.
And it's stemming from our beginning podcast when we spoke about death, but not necessarily physical death, cessation of life, but we were talking about how we can be alive but dying. And of course, we're doing that physically, but often we end up in a death spiral because of some of the brokenness that we carry in us. And it ends up trapping us, and it ends up causing our lives to suck. I don't know if anybody's had that happen in their life, but it's essentially what we're going to be to continue our discussion on is how to engage when we are trapped emotionally and we're stuck in darkness and we're feeling like there's no way out. And we'll continue talking about that tonight with some of the solves, I think. We have a little survey that Jim put together for us. We'll hit up in a couple minutes. But I guess last week we looked at counseling as a means of using as a tool for some help. I think Jess, before we started the podcast, says you really need to make sure you have a counselor that asks you the hard questions that you don't want to answer necessarily. That's the kind of counselor you need to stick with.
Yeah.
Yes, but she also said if you have a counselor
Yes.
that does not ask those hard questions,
Yes.
you should find a new counselor.
I think she used different words.
Well,
but
she did,
We're not
but
going to use
I
those
mean-
on air.
There I am. I'm being the polite guy.
Translation.
Translation. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, politician. I mean, Dave,
Yeah.
Mayor.
Yes.
Yes.
Stick with. Yes, but she also Oh,
Oh,
I
oh,
think
anyway,
I'm
Hey.
having a backflow.
that
of
is that.
information.
we
Back
don't want-
ding.
Backflow of information.
And we also talked about step models a little bit and how helpful they can be. Jim and Joanne threw down on that a little bit. Can you guys talk about how step model tools can be helpful?
No, go,
I'm doing all this.
go
What are you
ahead.
doing?
Oh, okay. I'm going to do it. Joanne's the expert, but I'm going to do it. Um, in many churches, we have has been established a program called regeneration,
Yeah.
and it talks about addictions, but it's not just drugs and alcohol and things like that. It's things that we're stuck with that we can't seem to shake.
Right.
And obviously, what comes to mind for me is going into church. You've just finished arguing with your family, slamming the door, and you put on your face and you walk into the church and you try to act like you're not angry anymore. And
Yes.
you're carrying resentment and bitterness, and that's just a small flare up compared to
Right.
what people stuff inside them over the years. And so many wounded people come into church wanting to be free,
Yeah.
and they get some freedom, but they still hang on to the trap.
Right.
Right.
And for some people, the trap is their lifesaver because it keeps them indifferent to life.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
care anymore. Nobody else cares. Why should I?
Yeah.
Okay.
And often in church, I know in church you can feel alone or like there's nobody there that knows what you've been through or can identify. Because sometimes in church, like you said, people
Masks.
put on masks and a happy face, and they don't want to
Right.
let people in. And sometimes they've given up and just said, "Well, this is where I am. This is who I am. This is just what it is."
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me 15 minutes of cheer and I'll get out of here.
There you go. I got what I need, my pill for the week, right?
Exactly.
But we also talked about regeneration. It's a biblical 12-step program that we're familiar with, and where Jesus is your higher power,
Yeah.
and you look at things as idols that keep you away from God.
That's right. Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, so like name some of those things that we can put up as idols.
Fury, just losing my mind on somebody. Denial.
Yeah.
People pleasing.
People please.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Shifting the topic real quick.
Right.
Getting away from the truth. Obviously, blame and resentment. Resentment kills people. Kills all kinds. It kills relationships first, but kills you too.
Yeah.
And people being too afraid to get away from that. But we've got like a list of 100 different idols that people
Absolutely.
can use or look at, and it's
Right.
not just drugs and alcohol. It's not just cigarettes or pot. It's a whole lot of emotionally layered over, hard shelled justifications that we've had to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
And
To
you
survive.
come into a recovery program with Jesus Christ, and you go, well, what? Jesus is supposed to save me now. Okay. Well, my point is, if we don't know what's lying underneath the dirt, if we don't know what's seething from underneath, we're not going to get very far turning to Jesus. I mean, obviously, he can pull us out of anything, but we can't afford to keep carrying it on. And this is where people latch onto the train and say, oh, I think I can relate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of things you hit on are been sticking points and struggles and things I've had to face down and discover.
Yeah.
In
But
the
I
journey.
wanted
Right.
to ask you a question about that, Jim, because you mentioned drugs, you mentioned alcohol, and those such things. Aren't they really just the tools that people use to keep themselves separated from others?
Yes.
And that's what we tell them because they're like, I don't have an addiction. Why would I want to be in this program? It's not about that. It's what separates you from God.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
And
And we know what separates us from God and from each other is of the evil one.
right. Right.
We hand them a sheet of 100 things, like he said. It's like you have to be able to. There's no one that could not find at least one in 100 that it is some kind of a trap that they're in.
The hardest cases come in people that, other counselors have said these people should never be together. and they start identifying this stuff and they start realizing they're in pain.
Yeah.
Which is it's a wonderful discovery, because I think that's where hope starts
Yes.
peeking in, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
this might have been the first time they got a hand up in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's neat about step meetings, I think. A lot of times when you get to hear other people share their stories and their struggles and their failures and also their rescues,
Right.
I think it gives other people like, wait, I'm not what? Other people have gone through this. I'm not alone. You mean, hey, I got some friends here that I can identify with.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
important. So, and of course, we have another model you can utilize. I've used this quite often. It's called sheer willpower. It's a model that is determined to fail me.
Well,
Thank you.
I use my sheer willpower to get through things.
Do you get through them?
Well, now you're asking the hard questions. No, but I have many times just said,
Yeah.
I'm stuck on this.
Got
And
it.
the only way this is going to work is if I just barrel on
But
through.
yeah, got through it. Yep.
True.
So I barrel on through, and whatever damage is left in my wake is oh well.
Yeah, I'm a striver and a driver, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But the key
Just
is
trying to
that-
find a place to breathe.
But I'm not looking at the damage that I've left in my wake, and that's where we lose our humanity between people. I don't see Rob as a person anymore. I just see him as he was an obstacle in my way, and I had to just barrel on through. And with me barreling on through, yeah, he got beat up a little bit and tossed aside, but I got done what I had to do.
Daggone it.
Yeah. So stay out of my way, miss.
I am,
Oh, yeah,
man.
hi.
I am. I'm getting out of the bunker, man.
Yes,
I'm getting
sir,
out of the
please
bunker.
do.
That's right.
Stephanie says we're fun. You're funny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. We're so glad you are with us tonight. And I think I saw Jess. Jess, we're glad you're with us tonight, too. Thanks for shooting a thumbs up like there. I appreciate that.
We do appreciate it very much.
Yeah. So now, I guess we're going to just jump into the Likert scale.
I think we
we're
should.
pretty far into this thing now.
Already.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to go backwards.
So we'll start off as a this is supposed to prompt discussion, but we've already been discussing. But the Likert scale will be 1 to 10, 10 being, I guess, oh yes. So 10 is where love and trust lives. 1 is where hate and fear live. Right?
Boy.
Anybody tangling with anything that's causing either side of that scale?
On the highway, it comes quick.
Yes.
Oh, it does. Jim.
Cruising along, having a good day, and then all of a sudden, somebody who doesn't have a license goes tearing across and almost kills you. Yes. Almost
Yes.
has a head-on collision right next to you that you could have been involved in. Yes,
Wow.
it jumps right down to hate and fear. And it doesn't matter whether it's real or not. Doesn't matter whether the person's having a heart attack. That's where I
Right.
jump.
Wow.
I just didn't realize you were in the car with me today, Jim.
Was that you in the head-on?
No, I didn't have the head on. I was close, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's more about I can't stand people going slow in the fast lane. Would you please get over?
Oh,
There you go.
That's right.
So
Tell them about it.
my dog just heard somebody arrived. Would you please go?
Left lane riders.
Yeah, it's not for me. But anyway, I can't really think of anything that I'm really struggling with right now because I've
Circumstance,
had so
situation,
many
person.
things
Oh, you have so
Start
many.
coming down to
Like narrowing
a
it down?
close. Well, they're like getting resolved.
Oh, getting
and
resolved.
because
Okay.
all these things are getting resolved all at the same time,
Yeah.
I just haven't had time to be mad about something else.
That's great, man.
Stephanie says fear of people all the time and generalized anxiety.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, this is
yes.
like this Likert scale Jim was saying earlier. It's nice to break out one of these little scales to kind of do a temperature check on where you're at. In a moment, after you have a confrontation or a situation or a circumstance unfold, to just take a breath, step back, and go, wait, where am I at? What's really going on?
And you can
Invite.
do a physical overlay of that because you can see the physical reactions.
Expound, my brother.
Oh, if you got love and trust, if I have love and trust, I'm feeling warm, feeling very
Got it.
good.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Happy, carefree, loving. If I have hate and fear, my head's on a swivel and I'm looking for
Gotcha.
someone to tear up, just tear up.
Reactive
And so, Joanne, do we need some counseling here, hon?
No, because I'm cold, so this being warmed up is okay this time anyway.
Ah, very good, very good. Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, I completely understand that because, sometimes the littlest thing could set me off, and I don't even understand why it's setting me off. But my wife and I have been pretty good about going over what caused the explosion, and that helps. It really does because
Hmm.
for years I just stuffed it,
Yeah.
waited for the next event, stuffed it, waited for the next,
Right.
and it's
Right.
just that's not healthy.
Now, where did you learn that?
Home,
Yeah.
I grew up with it,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was like nothing ever got resolved,
Mm-hmm.
and so when nothing is resolved, where is peace?
Right. Good
Where
point.
is where is your ability to do things for others?
Yeah.
Because you got all these little things that are just building up inside of you that keep you from expressing the love that we hear that God is love. And yet we are supposed to mirror what his life was like through love. But we get so stuck in our own emotions that
Yeah.
we lose the love part and we start treating people like they're irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we feel like damaged goods.
Yes.
Yeah. It just gets worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why don't we head on down the road of this little survey you gave us, Jim? We'll start. I guess one of the first points you make is recalling and studying the pain.
Yeah, well, that's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
You might have multiple bandages on top of these wounds, trying to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
But it's festering, and we want to encourage you with example and try to build some trust to try to take some of that off, so we can look at it, and hopefully you'll be able to take a look at it yourself. And usually, just one example is enough to get started.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
one. What's the one thing that comes to mind? And oh my gosh, somebody's got it.
Right.
And then describing their pain. What's it
Mhm.
like? How have you reacted to the pain? How does it
Yeah.
happen all the time? And what habits or idols do you chase as a result? And where does it get you? Where do the feelings end up?
Mm-hmm.
Are you powerless? Are you strengthened?
Right.
Do you feel vengeful? And then there's folks who hang on to the idea of, you know what, they're going to get it. And I might not give it to them, but somebody will.
But being able to
So
step in.
karma is what you're saying, right? Karma.
That's right.
And so they get a perverse pleasure out of knowing that karma's going to get them.
That's right. And watch them fail. That's wonderful. You see this everywhere. In the workplace, you see it in homes, you see it in churches, you see it everywhere. People get set up to fail.
Right.
So it's almost like what we see play out every day in politics, isn't it?
Oh,
Because it's
that's
almost like you
automatic.
got two sides only, and
Yeah.
there's no middle anymore.
Right.
That's right.
And so
That's right.
everybody's hoping the other guy fails. And it's like, this is not how I want to run a government.
I mean, isn't
My
it kind of?
clickbait,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Jim.
my clickbait is stronger than yours.
There you go. There you go. It's kind of like when you go into a room and you start meeting people, and people ask several questions to figure out where they stack up or to step on
Yes.
other people.
Such as what?
Yes.
Where did you go to
Assess the
school?
room.
Yeah,
Where did you get your degree in?
what degree?
Where do you work?
What I have to.
Where do you live?
Oh my!
How much did your house cost?
Yeah.
Where did your kid go
Yeah.
to school?
Really? Gee, man.
What
There you
church do
go.
you attend?
Uh-huh.
I see my friend calling me. Yes.
Yes. And we're encouraging you to take that call.
And doesn't that ultimately come down to the power assessment and how they want to use powerful people to their advantage and
Yeah.
ignore people who are irrelevant to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using people, yeah. And we
Yes.
do that in a whole bunch of different ways, right? You can go to meetings, and whether it's in church or step meetings, and you find the same dynamics going on. I've got 30 years clean. Let me tell you where my life was. It was down in the gutter. It was 300 feet deep. Well, mine was below the gutter. Mine was
Yeah.
500 feet deep. My life was this bad. This is what I'd thrown away. You can go both ways on that. Yeah,
Yep.
looks different ways, but all right. So another tool we could use, or another question we could, because this is essentially a tool that we're sharing with everybody here, that Jim's sharing with us, that you can use to see where you're at,
Yes.
test your temperature, if you will. I often use questions and spend a lot of time with a journal and with God,
Yeah.
and I will
Yes.
ask myself the questions I don't want to answer, or things I don't understand, or maybe I've had a reaction to a person or a situation, and I am checking with God on where is the truth and what is He trying to show me through this stuff I need
Ooh,
to
that's
grab a
good.
hold of that's good,
That's
because
good.
it's easy for me to grab a hold of the trash and trash myself or another person.
Yeah.
That's very easy to do, but.
It's
So this-
risky what you're doing.
Well, I found it so freeing, and I think these questions help do that, Jim. I think these questions
Yeah.
help do that. So the resultant feelings that you get when
Right.
you're trapped emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
one of those could be feeling powerless,
Yes.
right? And
And there's no
then
point in going on.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something that I have God's brought to the forefront for me is my lifelong battle with what's called discouragement, and how that's shown up in my life in different ways, shapes, and forms, and at different times, and how I have not responded well to it, and how that has caused more harm, not only to me, but to the people I care about. Because if I'm jacked up, you can be sure I'm going to jack you up, David.
Yeah. And that's
We're
the
all
life I
jacked up.
live. Yes, and that's the life I live.
Yeah.
You see, that is, just me saying that is that self-defeating attitude from within that makes it sound like Rob was right. And so we do it to ourselves just as much as other people do it to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And that is what we've got to stop, this self-talk that isn't
Yes.
healthy.
Well, you've heard of crabs in a barrel, right? You
Go
don't have
for
to
it,
put a
man.
lid on. You don't have to put a lid on the barrel.
They might not know what that is.
Okay, if you've got crabs in a barrel, you live in crab world. If you've got crabs you're getting out of the bay or whatever,
Yeah.
and you keep them in the barrel, you don't need to put a lid on the barrel. The reason is because they pull each other back in.
There you go.
They can't escape.
Yeah.
And we do that with ourselves as well as other people
Right.
because we don't want the freedom. We're scared.
Yeah.
So do we really not want it, or we haven't really experienced it? And because we
That's a
haven't
good way to look at
experienced
it.
it, we're scared of it.
Right.
Could be.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, if you're going to pull somebody else down, it might be because you do want that. I don't know what we were talking about.
Camaraderie or
You're going to pull them down so you feel better about
There
you.
you
right.
go. Yeah.
Right.
I like calling that stepping on their heads. Oh.
Freedom.
Well, we're glad you stopped there.
Freedom looks scary when you're not used to it and when you haven't experienced it. But once you've experienced it, you want more.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yes. I don't have to compare myself to everybody else.
What?
These are radical ideas we're sharing here tonight.
Yes.
Sorry.
Don't need to play a comparison game.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Very destructive. Very discouraging.
It
Takes
is.
courage out of you.
Yes.
How about
and it
Spike?
changes us.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. It does.
Well,
Discouragement
people
changes.
become fundamentally changed, and they've seen obviously people who've gone through severe traumas, psychological, emotional, whatever,
Right.
even not necessarily physical, but concurrent with it. Their brains actually change
Yeah.
to where there's hyper arousal, and we have a psychology in all its wisdom comes up with new diagnoses. High expressed emotion. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
kids are very often guilty of this. Shut that kid up. Put
Mm-hmm.
that kid in a group home. It's
Mhm.
the kid is bad. I mean, how
Right.
many babies, how many infants, how many toddlers have you seen being called bad?
Right.
Just bad
Yeah.
Amen.
because they don't do what we want them to.
Yeah.
And then that becomes self fulfilling.
It does. It does.
Mhm.
Because then now they're trapped.
Joanne once worked with a kid in our home based therapy program for abuse and neglect cases, a kid that was named Tragedy.
What?
Oh, my.
That was his name.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Although that is kind of biblical because people would name their kids really awful things in the Bible too.
Right.
So, but
Right.
Yeah,
Mm.
when you get definitions of some of the names, it's really pretty sad.
mhm.
Blood grease. Yep.
Yes. What we
So
can
it
do.
changes people. It changes their brains to be fearful,
Yeah.
highly reactive, avoidant, and
Right.
staying in a very safe place in the barrel with the rest of the crabs.
Yeah.
At least they think it's a safe barrel.
It's all you got.
Well, I understand,
I
but
think so.
they have never experienced what it's like outside the barrel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Well,
you don't
they
understand me, man. I live in a barrel.
Mm.
Yes, Gordon.
well, I would argue that they were outside the barrel before they were in the barrel. They were just swimming along until somebody grabbed them.
And
True.
threw him in the crab pot.
Yeah.
True.
Just saying.
Boy, do I.
Somebody trapped them.
Crab cakes.
They were swimming in the wrong location.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't read, those daggone crabs. I'm just joking, man.
So
Good
how
point.
we victimize people. We
Yeah,
do
Yes.
We
Yeah.
do.
And then we, us victims, become victimizers too, don't we?
that. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and then the cycle continues as
And
more
there we
children
go.
come along.
Yeah, we're
What are you,
crabs
weak?
all stuck in the
Yes.
pot somebody threw us in the beginning.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
I guess, I mean, you get put into a trap, right?
Yeah.
You're a crab, right? So, I mean, chances
No,
are.
not really one, Gordon, but go ahead.
What?
I
Chances
said
are,
I'm not a crab man, but go
well,
ahead.
yeah, the chances are the crab that got into the trap is like, hey, come on over here, join me. It's just
Yeah, there
fine.
you go.
So my point being is how often when we are in a bad place, we suck other people into this bad place.
Oh, certainly.
Yes.
Certainly.
Yes. Yes.
Well, they
And that
call
comes
it-
with gossip too. I can walk in and start something so quickly about another person, and people just lap it up because they feel freer to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think this leads into the next one: spite, revenge, karma, wishing harm.
That's
Yes.
See,
good.
there you go.
Stephanie says, unless we break the cycle.
But
And
then-
that's good.
But a lot of times you have to be very specific about trying to break the cycle. Because I've seen a cycle through my family generations. And yet had decided that I was going to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. And I was like,
You did?
did not?
Didn't.
No.
Okay.
Well, again, sheer willpower.
True.
Right.
Oh, Mr.
And I
Rob.
think Stephanie hits on something great there, that recognizing the need to break the cycle or deal with the curse, because we've talked about that a little bit, because essentially all this destructive thinking, feeling, and doing is essentially a curse on you.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's only
right.
going to bring you towards death
Right.
and destruction ultimately, and you will destroy others. So it's so
Thank you.
important to get real with yourself and with God, and bring somebody else who you can trust along with you on the journey, who's going to walk with you on that journey of discovery.
Amen.
Several years ago, my therapist took me through this book called Breaking the Cycle. It wasn't specifically Christian, but there were definitely Christian hints in there.
Yeah.
And so, and it was a really good book. And I have to find it again because some of the stuff in it was really good and it was really deep. and you went through this process of cognitive phrases to reframe your
One
mind.
example. One example. You got one?
Off the top of my head, basically, kind of like saying that
What are some of the slogans you have written on your walls at home?
they're not on the walls at home anymore,
Well,
but
the ones that were. Let me
well,
reframe
let's
that.
see. You are fearfully and wonderfully
There you
made.
go.
There you go.
Bible verses are real good at reframing your mind.
There you go.
They
Yes,
speak
they are.
straight up truth, and that's
Right.
one of the ways I did it. I found Bible verses that went with the cognitive phrases that said the same,
Beautiful.
basically the same thing.
Sure.
And
Beautiful.
and it I learned about your inner child and finding out about your inner child and going talking to your inner child to see where the trauma is.
Right.
That's excellent.
In asking the Holy Spirit, God, to guide you in that journey is such a critical thing because you have a supernatural power that's walking with you in the middle of that. And remembering the things that God says about you are fact, period, regardless of what anybody else wants to say. The other thing is remembering that God says he's going to transform our minds. He's going to literally conform them into the mind of Christ. In other words, Christ has a whole mind. Right? He has a whole heart. And God wants to give us a whole mind, a healed and whole heart. And that's essentially one of the reasons we're going through this with you on this journey. One of the next
And Christ,
yes.
didn't Christ say, come to send the children to me? And to me, that means come to him as a child.
Yes. There you go.
Put
Good
away
point.
put away all my crap and come to
Yes.
him directly with my hat in my hands crying and please help me.
And so let's wrap up tonight's show on talking about that a little bit. That aspect of coming like a child or coming with your hat in hand. What are we talking about there, Gordon? What do you think? For you, what does that make you think about when you think about your own walk?
Well, I mean, I think it's just a matter of, it's a matter of just being who you are, and just not just be putting yourself out there, right? And you, as adults, right? We are just so wrapped up in do this and don't do that, and
Yeah,
we lose a lot of freedom once we're grown up, right?
right. We do. Yeah.
So, coming like a child to me is like you just go for it. You dive in. Actually, this popped in my head. Okay, so very very long time ago, I had we'll still have a niece, right? But well, not actually not really niece, but sort of kind of one of those kind of things where family's close enough that you kind of in that realm, right? Where it's adopted adopted niece or whatever.
Yeah.
One day she's and she's like maybe 4 years old, 3 years old, something like this, and we're in a restaurant, right? And she had this is Alyssa, by the way,
Yeah.
not yeah.
Yeah, I figured that you were talking about one of the girls.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. But we're in a restaurant and she had an itch in her nose. So what do you right there in front of the whole restaurant? What does she do? Puts her finger up in her nose.
What? That's
That's what a 4-year-old does.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But shouldn't if we're gonna come to Jesus as children,
Yeah.
if we if we got
come as you are.
Come as
That's
you
what
are.
you're saying. Yes. And we do have to come as we are because that's the only way for us to find out where we are and how we are. And that's the only way we can really invite God in to do the work that needs to be done, right? Be aware of the work. I think Stephanie alluded to that earlier.
Yeah. I mean, Allison mentioned to me on Sunday, this Sunday or last Sunday, one of these Sundays recently, she was saying how, she's always amazed at how Jesse, just takes faith,
Yes.
and how his faith is like a child, and how he just, God said it, so it's true.
Right.
Like matter of factly, God
Yes.
says it, so it's true.
Yes.
And how, there are, certain times it's like God uses him to speak to people, and he just says it, like he just blurts it out.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Like doesn't care what people think, doesn't care who's around him.
Yeah.
If God tells him to say it, he says it. And and just the awe and the inspiration that he is, because you
Yes.
want to have faith like a child, that
Absolutely.
to have that faith, that unquestionable faith.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a critical thing.
Yet the world gets in our way,
It does.
and it says,
Who's God?
"Yeah,
Do you
who's
really believe
God?"
in
It's a bunch of
hooey?
well, not just
Or
hooey, but it's a bunch of myths and
Yeah.
stories that never were true.
Right.
But
or in your own experience as a child, you had somebody around you, what would be a parent or whoever,
Yeah.
that I'm always disappointed in you and
There
you're
you
never
go.
going to be good enough.
Yes.
And it's very hard to transfer that being a child to God, which is a whole different kind of parent in a way.
Absolutely. That's a good point. That's a good point.
yeah, building up one another
Seeing
is
God.
very, very important. It's one of the things that we adults don't do well with children all the time.
Well, and I think that's an aspect of humility.
Yeah,
It's a critical aspect of humility, thinking about somebody else
yeah, yeah,
instead of you being the center of your world,
yeah.
and
Yes.
thinking, wanting to think the best and help do the best, be a gift to somebody instead of be a curse or be a
Yeah.
blessing, if you will. We're going to go ahead and this is going to be part 4.
Yeah, well,
Next
it's
week.
just this time goes by so fast.
It does.
Yes, does.
Because we're talking about real things that affect people, and we need God to intersect with us
Yeah.
as we struggle with these things,
Absolutely.
and let us know that there is peace and comfort in Jesus.
Yeah.
And in this peace and comfort, we just pray for every one of us that's listening here tonight and the others to reach up your hands wide open. Give your cares to God, to Jesus, because he cares for you.
Yeah, he does.
And only with that kind of love will we ultimately know that the truth that's laid out in the Bible is absolutely true. And we do have to have faith because the afterlife is coming for all of us.
Yeah.
We can't get away. We're not getting out alive. So, was there anything
that
you
your
wanted to
prayer?
finish up?
Well, yeah, I wanted to just finish off with Psalm 23, kind of in line with what you were praying over all of us. The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along bright paths, bringing honor to his name, even when I walk through the dark valley of death. And that's what we're talking about, really. Because if you're living a life where you're emotionally trapped, it can feel like a dark valley of death. But though you walk through the dark valley of death, I will not be afraid or fear evil, for you are close beside me. See, that's why we don't have to be afraid, because God really, quite literally, walks with us through.
Amen.
And he says, your rod, and these are the tools of a shepherd, your rod and your staff. And here's the beautiful part: God protects and God comforts. And so we can be vulnerable. We can get real. We can get honest. We can let the guard down. We can take the mask off. And we can invite God in. And that's what we're hoping and praying for all of us as we walk this journey together.
So if you're struggling with things, feel free to drop us a line. If you give us an email, you'll email d.maier@truecharactermatters.org.
Cool.
And we hope you have a blessed week, and we look forward to seeing you next week. So
Stephanie, thanks for hanging out.
thank
Jess, and everybody else, if you didn't chime in, thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
yes, we appreciate it. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Uh-oh.
When's the new one? It's so
Put on the string.
So-